Hi, I'm Jay Tyler. In this week's video, I'm going to answer some questions that people have sent me over the last few months. So I've got them written down here. And let's just start at the top here. So question number one, what's the best screw for unilateral crossbite? Well, I guess they're asking what's the best screw for unilateral posterior crossbite. So if you have a molar here and a molar here, and it doesn't matter what you put in between these two. It could be a screw, it could be a quad helix, a Porter appliance, a compression spring, an omega loop. It doesn't matter. When you activate the expansion, it's going to cause this to happen. Now, if you have three molars over here and one over here, well, it's going to go like that. So the whole trick is to gang up on one side and push against the other. Now, in my channel, I have a video called Anchorage. Check that out. I go way into detail on that. Now, as far as the screw itself, that's what you asked, what's the best screw for that? A company called Leone has a whole bunch of different types of screws, and they have several screws that kind of have hookups on one side that would facilitate hooking up more on one side and pushing on the other side. So it really depends on the case. If you want to contact me, I'd be glad to talk to you about it. We can look at the catalog together and decide on what screw would work best for you. All right, number two, no matter what I do, I still get bubbles in solder joints. Am I using the wrong solder? Well, in my channel, I have a three-part series on silver soldering, and I go way into detail on that sort of thing. Check that out. The thing that causes bubbles in silver solder, or any kind of solder, is vaporization of something. Now, everything vaporizes. Even titanium will vaporize. If you don't believe it, go to my video on the titanium soldering probe that I did, and it had a real fine tip on it. I got it so hot it vaporized right on camera, so you can see that. So everything vaporizes, and if you get your solder too hot, something in the alloy, one of the metals in the alloy, is probably going to vaporize, and if it does, that causes bubbles. Another thing that can cause bubbles in the acrylic is contaminants. That's probably one of the biggest. It's extremely important to keep everything clean. The flux paste, the brush that you use to apply it with, the parent metals, once you grind and roughen them up, it's important to clean all that. If you leave particles from the abrasives, dust, anything, any contaminant in there, if it vaporizes at a lower temperature than your silver solder alloy, you're going to have bubbles. So keep everything clean, watch my videos, and let me know if you're still having trouble. Number three, why do Adam's clasp keep breaking at acrylic? I've got two videos in my channel here. One of them is called Wire Selection. The other one's called Adam's clasp. I go into that. I'll just summarize it here. On an Adam's clasp, you don't need a lot of elasticity, but you do need high tensile strength, because it does, there's a lot of force putting it on, taking it off, putting it on, taking it off. You do that repeatedly, it's going to cause a lot of stress where the wire goes into the acrylic. So what I use, Posey makes a wire, it's called Crozet wire. I use an 028 Crozet wire to make my Adam's clasps, and it has a great deal of tensile strength, and that's what you want. So, and I don't know if I've ever had an Adam's clasp break at the acrylic, so you might want to try that. All right, here's my favorite question. It says, how old are you and when are you ever going to retire? I like the word ever. When are you ever going to retire? Well, I've been around this field for a long, long time. As of this publication, I am 68 years old. I bent my first wire when I was in the 9th grade. That was way back in 1964, or as I like to say, 1964. My dad knew an orthodontist. He offered me a little part-time job, and so I started making retainers in the 9th grade. Fact is, I enjoy doing what I do, and I just had a new lab built, so I'm not going to be retiring anytime soon. Retirement for me is kind of like, it's not just whacking it off one day and then I don't do it anymore. It's going to be more like a slow fade to black. So as long as I'm learning, and I enjoy learning, I enjoy teaching, as long as I'm actively engaged in this, and YouTube really is a wonderful thing to facilitate that, I'm going to be around as long as I want to. One of my friends is, in fact, I'm going camping next weekend with a friend of mine who's in his 80s. Now, he's one of my heroes. He still practices ophthalmology. We go camping twice a year. We've been doing this for several years. He works out every day, and we will probably hike at least 10 miles. So, you know, I just want to stay active and alive and engaged. And when are you ever going to retire? If you get tired of watching me, just quit watching me. Okay, last question here. How to learn acrylic designs? Well, I'm not the guy to ask that, but you can ask me probably about anything in the ortho lab business. I've been around long enough. If I don't know it, if I don't know the answer, I know probably where to refer you. Here's a magazine you need to get if you don't get it already. It's called Lab Management Today, LMT. And this is the October 17 edition. And they did an expose on just that, retainer or designs, remarkable retainers they call it. It's a 2-page thing, and they show you different designs. And on this back page is another one. And on this, there are 2 of my fellow YouTubers on this. Here's Steve Zara. He's got a YouTube channel. It's a Zara Dental Lab. Search that on YouTube and you'll find he has a lot of videos showing how to make these really exotic colors and designs and things. And another friend of mine, Cade Tippett, he's got a YouTube channel. It's search Retainer Designer. That's Retainer Designer. And he will show you all kinds of designs as well. Now, when you use acrylic, there's a couple of companies that I recommend. Posey makes an acrylic that's got real fine powder, and they've got a pretty good selection of basic colors. But now, if you want a lot of different colors, there's a company called JBC and Company. That's JBC and Company. Search them on Google. And they have a whole bunch of colors. And the owner of that company is Priscilla Meyer. She is an expert on this. So you can contact them. They will fix you up with what you need. Or go to Posey and get your colors and find acrylic. Those are really good acrylics I recommend. And then go to the YouTube channels of Steve and Cade and watch their videos. And you will learn how to make all kinds of different wonderful designs. All right, that's it for this time. Keep sending questions in. You can contact me on my website. It's ortholabvideos.com, ortholabvideos.com, and just contact me through that, and I'll collect these questions, and every now and then we'll have another Q&A video. So that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.